Hi, Judith Munson here, co-founder of Inside the Workplace, along with Tom, who's also the other co-founder of Inside the Workplace. Today we're going to talk about a question that came into email about workplace bullying. And Tom, you have the question in front of you.
Right.
Let's talk.
As you know, we sent out an email to all of our contacts asking, what's the most burning question you have about workplace bullying? Boy, we got a great response, and we have a lot of questions lined up for our question of the week video that we're putting out. And this is the next question that we got. Why do bullies always deflect the blame back on you and manipulate the truth?
Well, the short answer to that is because if they put the blame on you, then obviously they look good to other people, to their bosses. But let's talk about this a little bit more.
Okay, so uh, what we're talking about is deflecting the blame. What kind of blame is that? Is that something that they're doing wrong, or something that they might have um, caused you to do wrong in your work? You know how they manipulate you, manipulate your work and sabotage, things like
Hmm.
that, to where they can blame things on you and deflect the truth of the matter back onto you, so that they look good and you look bad. And that's their whole point, is trying to uh, take your confidence away from you, make you look
Hmm.
bad in front of the establishment, and eventually probably get you fired.
Exactly, and that's what it leads to is that this person is either trying to get you to be moved to another department or totally fired by doing all of this sabotaging and messing up your work and everything. So, yeah, they love to blame other people.
That's what happened to you when you were when you were bullied too. Is they sabotaged your work, and then they played the blame game, to where the truth didn't come out until a lot later, after you had left your job. So, they kept manipulating things and sabotaging your work, and eventually it led to you leaving that job because the stress was so high.
And that's true. And sometimes I don't even think about that anymore because it has been over 20 years.
Mm.
But when I worked at the job that I got let go from, then it was after I had been out on surgery, came back and they started the what do you want to call it, the plan of action to get rid of me, because then the hospital that I work for decided that I would be too great a health risk in order for them to keep me on their insurance. So they started this, just sabotaging my work, making me think that I was crazy. I was seeing a psychiatrist. Bottom line, within 3 months, they had me in an office, and I got a choice. I could either stay and be put back on 90 days, or I could just up and leave right then and there. Well, if I went back on the 90 days, then I would have been, they could have fired me for any reason. They
Hmm.
didn't have to give me any warning. So, in tears and frustration, I did get my stuff and I left. But like I said, that's been over 20 years ago, but it affected me so much that I was I was unable to work or go any place by myself for like 7 years, and that's
It was,
terrible.
it was a terrible time, and boy, did they manipulate the truth.
Mm.
It was always her fault. And the stress, she ended up seeing a psychologist because of the stress of it all. She thought she was going nuts. They'd misplace files that she had put out, and they'd delete things off the computer, stuff like that. Just sabotage something crazy so
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
she would be able to be called into the office every single day. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly what bullying is. It's a consistent harassment of somebody until they actually break down and either quit or get fired, or I don't know, have to go on medical leave. So anyway, you kind of get the idea of why do bullies do that? Well, they want to get rid of you. That's basically the answer to this question. So
Well, what can you do about it? What do you think you can do about it?
I don't know.
Well, I think that, well, first of all, you can leave. You can either leave the whole company if it's a big enough company, and you can be transferred to another department where you might enjoy your work more. Um, then you can do that.
Yeah. And the important thing is to realize what's happening
Hmm.
before it gets too bad, before it really affects your health, If you go onto our website, there's a free ebook that we have, Recognizing the Traits of a
Hmm.
Workplace Bully. And that'll kind of tell you what the traits of a bully are, so that if things start happening to you, you'll be able to recognize
Hmm.
them
Yeah.
um, ahead of time, so that it doesn't get to you to where it gives you a mental breakdown, or emotional breakdown. So basically, I'm going to put up an email address right up here above us that you can send your questions to us so that we can answer them on camera for you. And believe me, a lot of folks see these videos, so a lot of times your question might be answered by us, but it'll help somebody else that has the same question
Yes.
or the same problem. So um, just send us your questions to that email address. The other thing, if you want to be notified every time we put out a video, there's a subscribe button right down below this video on the left-hand side. It's a red button. Just subscribe to our channel, and whenever we post a video on
Hmm.
YouTube, you'll be able to see it. They'll notify you by email. So,
Okay, that's it for today or for this week. And I just want to remind you, don't let a bully rob you of the joy in your life.
that's all, folks. Thanks.